For a very brief period today, the nation had its first female president. Kamala Harris assumed the reins of power while President Biden was undergoing a colonoscopy as part of his annual physical at Walter Reed Medical Center.
The colonoscopy requires unconscious sedation. During that period of time, the president would be impaired.
The Veep became President Harris at 10:05 a.m. and served until 11:35 a.m. when President Biden came out of sedation, exactly 90 minutes.
The President of the United States has resumed his full duties.
He left the hospital in good spirits, raising his two fists in the air. The temporary transfer of power comes amid reports of a rift between Biden and Harris.
I can tell you that there's been a lot of reports out there and they don't reflect his view or our experience with the vice president.
They put on a show of solidarity this week on the White House lawn. Both are struggling in the polls. As the pandemic drags on and inflation soars, Harris has a dismal 28% approval rating. Biden not much better at 36%.
Stepping in at a moment's notice when needed at the end of a week that raised a lot of questions about her effectiveness, I think is kind of almost a feather in her cap, because she'll be able to say, well, look, you know, I did what I'm constitutionally here to do and everything went just fine.
The supply chain, one of those things we took for granted before the pandemic, but that now affects almost every corner of the economy and has hit the auto industry particularly hard, as President Biden explains.
So if a factory in Malaysia shuts down due to a COVID outbreak, which they have, it causes a ripple effect that can slow down auto manufacturing in Detroit.
Minneapolis Fed President Neel Kashkari says things are getting better.
Malaysian chip factories are now coming back online to try to supply auto companies. I also recently learned that all the major auto plants in America have restarted. I'm not suggesting that we're out of the woods yet, at all, but many of these sectors are working themselves out.
But despite the improvements, GM's Mary Barra says she's looking for a more permanent fix.
We'll be in a much better shape in the second half of 2022. And we're also taking steps over the medium term to make sure we're never seeing this kind of constraint.
An important part of that longer-term solution, according to Michigan Congresswoman Haley Stevens, will be legislation pending in Congress to support more chip manufacturing in the United States.
We have got to pass the CHIPS Act. This is what I am working on every single day as a member of Congress and certainly as a member of Congress coming from Michigan. Our automotive companies need that certainty. And yes, our American people need relief from the everyday costs that are impacting them.